being on Zoom and appreciate the technology, but it fills me with immense joy to be here and seeing you. Thank you for being here. So tonight's talk, I titled it Exploring Spiritual Genealogy, Investigation of Self as a Collage. As you can tell by the way I handed out papers and pen, there's gonna be some exercises we'll explore. That's how I like to roll. Hope it will be helpful for you. This is me, or a flattering picture of me. I'm the center director of Dallas Meditation Center since 2022. I'm honored to be here, and I'm honored to be using all my experiences, reflection experiences, to really get into the space of mindful reflection and connection. And I hope you will enjoy it too. And I saw one thing that's just new to this Dallas Meditation Center. So here's a quick introduction. Dallas Meditation Center's core gathering formats are inspired by Plum Village tradition. And Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh, sometimes lovingly called Thai, is the founder of Plum Village tradition. And Brother Chi Sing is the founder of Dallas Meditation Center. His vision was to bring mindfulness and meditation practice to people of all faith and non-faith, secular backgrounds in an earth-based way with an emphasis on creativity, music, and the arts. And I just wanted to highlight maybe tonight's talk kind of connects to the all faith and non-faith aspect of our community. And that's what I hope to honor tonight. And I'd like to say it out loud every talk that we value generosity, creativity, and inclusivity. And maybe inclusivity is the kind of the highlight of tonight. So why spiritual genealogy? Why tonight? So let me first define spirituality, if I'm allowed to do that. Spirituality can mean many things, of course. And for tonight, I'm borrowing the following definition from the source that felt inclusive in order to center my talk around this particular definition so that not everybody doesn't have different definition. I'm like, wait, that's not what I thought this was going to be about. So, and of course, if you disagree with this definition of spirituality, that's all good. Disagreement is good. That's kind of the beginning of becoming aware of like, hey, there's a different definition brewing in me, and I realized that by not agreeing with this. So see how you feel, see what you think. So it's Brené Brown's definition of spirituality that I liked and found it to be inclusive. Spirituality is recognizing and celebrating that we are all inextricably connected to each other by a power greater than all of us, and that our connection to that power and to one another is grounded in love and compassion. Practicing spirituality brings a sense of perspective, meaning, and purpose to our lives. For some people, that power greater than us is God. For others, is fishing. Some are reminded of our inextricable connection by faith, others by expressions of shared humanity. Some find that religion is the best expression of inextricable human connection that is guided by love and compassion. And others believe that no entity has done more to corrode that connection than organized religion. In short, there's as long as we are connecting to the sense of interconnectedness and the greater, something greater than our individual selves, that's spirituality, even if what we define what that the particular thing to be is different. We all have a sense of spirituality, and that definition is what I'm going to be working off of. And going back to why spiritual genealogy tonight, given the context we're in, November 3rd, 2024, I first thought about giving a talk on election stress. Like, I felt like everyone was like clenching, just like collective clenching. But I continued reflecting, and I reached this thought. Maybe the focal point of tonight's talk shouldn't be about election or whatever else is going on the external layer of what's going on. And I pivoted and asked myself, what's making this election difficult? What is going on within us lately? I was advised that perhaps our programming and what we talk about is to relieve the suffering, relieve the anxiety, depression of people collectively. So I kind of asked myself and my friends, like, what is making this difficult? And it's the sense of division, sense of confusion, sense of loss, perhaps, loss of united sense of humanity. Like, it's really difficult to feel that when everything going on in the media, like just talking to friends, division across generation, division across different beliefs. It's just division is primarily visible. And that's not a good feeling. We like community, we like connection, and this foregrounding of division and foregrounding of confusion and loss that can make us feel helpless. So I decided to go for that. What would give us a sense of unity then? That's when I go back to the definition of spirituality, as Brené Brown puts it. Recognizing and celebrating that we are all inextricably connected to each other by a power greater than all of us. And that connection to that power and to one another is grounded in love and compassion. So, call me naive, but exploring spirituality could be a way for us to restore the sense of connectedness, restore the sense of centeredness. And what would relieve us the sense of confusion and give us a sense of clarity? And that's why I decided that self-investigation is where the clarity comes from and empowerment comes from. Because when we really understand and have a clear vision of what we believe in, what gives us momentum, that's when we can also clarify what we can do to advocate for what we believe in. Because I feel like a lot of difficulty with confusion is that, like, I don't know what to do. But perhaps when you investigate, this is what I believe in, this is what's valuable to me. Perhaps from that sense of inner centeredness, we can guide, even anxiety as a momentum towards certain directions. And in that, I hope that we'll find some empowerment. So I hope with this intention on our mind, we can explore together, explore ourselves, and connect with one another. The genealogy. So defining genealogy, good old Wikipedia, I just borrowed that. Don't tell my former students. Genealogy is the study of families, family history, and the tracing of their lineages. The field of family history is broader than genealogy and covers not just lineage, but also family and community history and biography. I included the family history as a definition because I think tonight we might be kind of leaning towards family history. Feel free to bring in stories and community history. It doesn't have to be the sense of linear lineage, but I wanted to kind of bring that framework in before we explore. And this genealogy, the idea of genealogy was on my mind because I just got back from my 3 weeks long trip to Korea. And reconnecting with some of the influences that I've had, such as Buddhist temples that are everywhere in Korea, language system that implies certain spiritual belief that is different from mainstream beliefs that I sense from English language. My sense of self felt both richer and more confusing after visiting Korea. And that seems to happen when we look deeply into ourselves beyond the surface level of this is what I think who I am. And because when you really comb through it, there's so many elements that are operating within us and influencing us. So that's what I'm aiming us to do by presenting the exercise I'm about to share with you. Just kind of combing through the influences that I've had that brought me to the current spiritual path and then some journaling and this exercise that I made up. And I thought this is going to be a good Dharma talk material slash mindful self-inquiry practice. So that's why I'm decided to share, and I hope you will find it illuminating and will give you more deeper, enriching sense of how you operate, what makes you move, what gives you momentum, and what uh, gives you sense of peace and centeredness. Oh, and I thought I was in Korea. We've been told this cool Buddhist temples and to not give any photos might be kind of not nice. So here's some photos. It's beautiful autumn weather in Korea. This is my mom on the back, and there's beautiful temples. There are these prayer tower thing where you can hang golden leaves, where you write your wishes and hang. That's my aunt. Some Buddha sculpture, mountain, and temple cat. I did this retreat in one of the Korean Buddhist temple, and this temple cat, his name was Cheese. And we became fast friends. I have more kitty photos than temple photos. And this is the head monk of the temple that I did the retreat at, and he specifically said, take photos and share with friends. And this is when he was offering this giant bowl in front of him of lotus tea, that is actual lotus flower soaked in cold water for like apparently overnight, and then it had very fragrant, flowery taste. And he was serving us tea while giving Dharma talk, which was an interesting experience. Cheese was trying to break into my watch. Another picture of cheese, oh, stop. But this is the temple that I was staying at, Yangpyeong-sa, and it was a beautiful experience. Oh, and this is the main temple area with 3 incarnation of Buddha, or manifestation of Buddha, medicine Buddha, Siddhartha Buddha, and Amitabha Buddha. Thousand-handed Bodhisattva to relieve all suffering of various kinds. Oh, and protect the spirits. All right. So back to the talk. So I wanted to highlight the idea of collage too. So I like the thought of collage as a useful metaphor that gives us a sense of interconnectedness and connection with one another. Because instead of seeing ourselves as one solid identity, if we were to imagine ourselves to be made of many pieces that comes from different traditions and different lineages, which we share with humanity, perhaps it can highlight our interconnectedness. Hey, I drew this piece from Buddhism to inform my sense of spirituality. Oh, like you also are informed by Buddhism. Oh, like you're also a piece from Christianity. There's this way that I feel like collage gives you a better sense of connecting with the world at large and recognizing each other as unique beings too. I thought it was a useful metaphor, so I wanted to bring that in. And I love this quote. I bring it in as often as possible. And I think I can connect this quote by Thich Nhat Hanh to apply to this idea that we are always a collage. He wrote, when we look deeply into the heart of a flower, we see clouds, sunshine, minerals, time, the earth, and everything else in the cosmos in it. Without clouds, there could be no rain. And without rain, there will be no flower. All right, I'm trying to go through so that we have enough time to for the exercise. So here's the process I use to explore my spirituality as a collage of many experiences from various origins. And if you'll get your paper and pen ready. So the step 1 is to kind of draw a line to represent the timeline. I will probably have the wider side, turn the notepad sideways, so you can draw as long of a line across the paper as possible. And what I have, oh, sorry, hold on, I think it's cheaper. And so draw a timeline that represents your life. So the right below the line, at the beginning of the line would be the year your birth, the year of your birth at the beginning of the line. And the end of the line will be 2024, unless you're a time traveler. And kind of divided somewhat, create nodes that each node can be, I don't know, 5-year interval. That's what I did, but if you'd rather make a different interval, that's fine too. Just to have a sense of. Can either turn the paper or get another sheet of paper for the next step. This is when you do a self-inquiry based on your experiences. And this is a perfect time to ask yourself if you can write down the summary of these questions. That would be probably helpful for your reflections, or if you have great memories, unlike me, you can remember these and continue asking these questions. And other questions can be helpful too. These are the ones that I've worked with. I asked myself, like, what experiences in your life inform your current spirituality? What got you to cultivate the sense of worldview as you have today? So you can just write down worldview, what experiences, what gives you a sense of something larger than yourself and being connected to something larger than yourself.
I'm sorry, I'm not following the second part.
Yes.
Can you?
Oh, sure. I forget that I talk kind of softly. In my earshot, I feel like I'm speaking perfect volume. Yeah. So these are some questions you can ask yourself to see what experiences come up for you, but not limited to these questions. What experiences in your life inform your spirituality? What got you to cultivate the sense of worldview as you have today? What gives you a sense of something larger than yourself or being connected to something larger than yourself? What motivates you to cultivate the sense of compassion and love? What motivates you to cultivate compassion and love? I also spent some time actually working on this here and now. And while you're reflecting, some of my answers were, I definitely have Christianity. I was raised as Christian, and my school field trips always went to Buddhist temples. There was some Taoist language and philosophy infused language, so on. And I've also wrote down studying literature and philosophy was a way for me to connect to something larger than myself and science and how research is done. So I've included all of those as what informs my worldview and what connects me to something larger than myself. I also wrote raising my cats gave me a sense of compassion and love for all beings. Loss of my brother and having spiritual experiences, that's expanded my sense of what the compassion, expanded my sense of compassion, but also what I believe to be true, what I believe to be part of a human experience and what is possible. I didn't write it here. What made you break away from a sense of spirituality or traditions? will make you feel isolated and not connected. That could be also part of your spiritual journey. Different culture can be a great way of being introduced to and integrating some of their beliefs into your life as well. When you think of yourself as secular, if you're here, most likely there must be some wish to cultivate compassion and do the right thing. So you can list those. It doesn't have to be religious tradition and whatnot that's included here. A couple more minutes. I'm sure we'll keep bubbling up if we spend all evening. I'm hoping that this process is a good beginning of survey. Volunteering, humanitarian work, any learning about the world at large can be also part of this picture. All right. And you can kind of mark on your lifetime line where those experiences are located to see how that may have influenced how your spiritual beliefs or your journey of cultivating love and compassion, how that developed and fluxed. It's not a linear development. Couple more minutes here because optional sharing in small group, I believe is going to really enrich your experience, even if you don't have to finish your timeline necessarily. There's one more minute here. Last stage would be kind of self-inquiry on some of your current belief, current uncertainty, and reflecting on what actions we can take to further affirm our beliefs or to challenge our beliefs. So you can make a note or after these experiences, what have I come to believe? How do you see those experiences influencing your current belief? And in what areas do I feel uncertain still? What actions do I want to take to affirm my belief or challenge my belief? I was writing in mine. The belief that I've come to is that I do believe in interaction of all beings and that our actions have cumulative effects within individual psyche and as a collective. Let's come to the central belief that I feel like I can say that I do believe in. I'm still uncertain about afterlife and reincarnations, some of the spiritual beliefs, experiences that I've had makes me tend to believe some form of continuation, but there's still an area that I'd like to learn more, explore. And because I do believe how our actions and words have cumulative effects, I aim to practice mindful speech, even when I'm alone, especially when other people, and taking mindful actions to perhaps counteract the harmful actions that are being committed in the world. Because I think of the effects as a cumulative thing. So those could be the actions that I can take to affirm my beliefs and couple minutes. And these are just questions to reflect on as a beginning, but anything that comes up as you reflect on your experiences, influences, if there are beliefs that you find yourself believing or still carrying from certain tradition that you decide to let go of, your certain tendency of doctrinal attachments that you're realizing within yourself. Another minute. I think this is where we can really find some interesting conversation happen by breaking into groups of three and just kind of share what came up for you and hear how diverse everybody's experience might be. And at the same time, a lot of common grounds too. So let's not overthink it. Look around, make eye contact. If you don't want to be part of small group reflections, you want this to be an individual reflection, either place your hand on your heart or just don't make eye contact and people will get it. We honor your space. I think somebody said boundaries, welcoming and boundaries. Yeah, form a group of three and share what came up and any uncertainties, questions. And we will reflect for up to 15 minutes. Good, like all the energy of people sharing. Thank you for your open heart that I see. Thank you for if you didn't feel comfortable sharing what you didn't want to share. That's great too. Yeah. Good news is that if you're sticking around, you have more opportunity to keep talking too. So I wanted to end this talk section by thanking you. Thank you for offering your whole self with this collective reflection and practice. May we practice self-inquiry with this awareness of our interconnected nature. So we may feel centered in our self-knowledge and act from that stable center with love and compassion, and we'll be all right. June bowing out. Thanks so much.